An uninvited guest loses his shoes and ruins a corporate Christmas party to save his marriage.
Welcome back down to the bar, where we're going through Kev's 100 favourite films of all time, and we're now up to number 77, 24 episodes in, with what can only be described as the least cryptic clue of all time, even though it still stumped Trish last week.
Yeah.
But here we are to talk about, obviously, 1988's Die Hard. And we thought, well, because we're sat here, obviously in our tank tops, to talk about Die Hard, that we should invite down the only other person we know who reliably wears tank tops all the time. So Jim's come down to join us to talk about Die Hard. Welcome down to the bar, Jim.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's it's been a lot of badgering to get me on here. So thank you, Andy, for finally inviting me for probably one of the best films ever.
I know that it's a firm favourite, so Kev can get a little bit of backing for this one, going all the way back to 1988. So yeah, I mean, for us, needs no introduction to a certain extent, because Die Hard is Die Hard. But yeah, Kev, tell us about why it's on the list. I mean, maybe lower than some people would think, but
it's an interesting one, isn't it? I don't know. Should it have been higher? I guess we'll find out as the episode goes on. It's just, I mean, it's a classic 80s film, isn't it? And maybe the fact that I've watched it too many times is why it's lower than it possibly should be. Maybe that's why it should be higher. But yeah, I mean, this, oh my God, I mean, I cannot remember the amount of times I've seen this. I mean, it was always on TV. So this is like classic. You remembered, obviously, so many like great lines from it. And then I think as you get older and you watch it more as you're older, you find out more about, you realise that it was, Bruce Willis never used to do films like this at all. And then he was like, they talk obviously about the everyman, and all of a sudden it was like a normal person coming in and actually sort of doing an action hero movie as opposed to like having like Arnie or Sly. So those things, I think you then, as you're older and you start watching it again, you realise all those things. Oh, wow. And like, even like watching it again this time, I was like, there was things in there that I realised that I hadn't seen before. So, I think it's just an absolute classic, isn't it? Obviously, it's at Christmas as well, so a lot of people like it as their favourite Christmas movie. So,
but when did that start? When did the whole Christmas? Is it a Christmas movie, and then it is a Christmas movie? Because I don't remember that being like back in the day when we were first watching this. I don't think we talked about the fact that it was a Christmas movie at all, and then it became almost like, oh well, if you were talking about Christmas movies, then you mentioned Die Hard. And then there kind of became a debate about it, but it is clearly a Christmas movie.
It is held at Christmas, yeah.
But
I don't know.
But back in the day, we didn't think of it as a Christmas movie. I think when we first watched it,
we were too busy down the mines. We didn't have time to worry about those sort of things. We had to get the raw materials out of the earth. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. I guess once the internet blows up a bit more, then people start making more lists, and you start thinking about things more. And everyone's like, "What's your favorite Christmas movie?" And obviously, then it becomes more obscure. You get things like this, Gremlins included. But yeah, I don't know. You're right. I mean, at some point, it became a Christmas movie, and now, I mean, I don't think you can argue that it is definitely a Christmas movie. It definitely is held at Christmas. There's definitely lots of references to Christmas in the movie. So as much as whether people say yes or no, I think it definitely has Christmas in it. So I think it's a struggle to say it isn't a Christmas movie.
Can I just maybe go back on something earlier? I'm speechless. I'm just trying to work this out. Kev, did you say in your top 100 this is only 77?
This is number 77. Yeah, I mean, we should point out
how credible is this podcast? How credible is it?
I mean,
well, this is season 2.
Clearly,
we've already gone through Andy's 100 movies and it didn't appear. So it's was 123 films in, and it's only just appeared. So
sorry, where was this on yours? I just want to understand if I walk away now or if I continue on this podcast.
Well, funnily enough, we've turned the lifts off actually, and all of the escalators. We've turned off all of the power, so you can't now unless you're going to go down the green screen lift shaft. If you want to do that, that's fine. I mean, you can reenact it.
We've got Carl on the door. He's not going to let you out. Firmly at the top of your list, Jim, would it be your favorite movie? Yeah,
I mean, this is why we kind of brought you down.
Definitely. I mean, it's in probably my top 5 favorite Christmas movie without doubt.
Okay.
Albeit Polar Express comes pretty close.
Okay.
So they're my 2
very
Christmas
different.
movies.
Yes, different experiences.
Die hard on a train, isn't that exactly. Polar Express?
Exactly.
Basically.
Speed.
Yeah,
not quite sure how it's going to end. So I think it's got to be a Christmas movie without doubt. I don't think for me it ever wasn't. I think it always, probably from when I started watching it, but definitely a Christmas movie.
The score is 100% Christmas movies. It was interesting, like watching it this time, because I've not watched it for a fair few years. I think probably over 10 years. Maybe since I last watched it. And I really noticed the score is basically every Christmas song, just like, scored a little bit differently. So I think that definitely adds to it. And the premise of the plot is that he's there because of Christmas, right? So
well, exactly. That's exactly.
I think you're right about the music. I think it stands out more when you watch it when it's not Christmas, and then you really pick up on the music. But maybe when it's at Christmas time, it's less so because it's just you're hearing it all around you. But I just watched it recently as well, and that bit really stands out, which maybe it hasn't done for me as much before because I've always just watched it at Christmas.
Well, it came out in July because we did. Me and my wife had a discussion about why it was a Christmas movie, and it did actually come out in July. So. It was originally a summer blockbuster that then kind of had that Christmas angle. When was the last time you'd both watched it?
Good question. I think I've watched it fairly recently, probably like a few years ago. I think I watched the trilogy, and I can't remember the last time. I think I've seen the 5th one. I think that'd only be once, and the 4th one. Again, maybe once, maybe twice. I've definitely seen it once, maybe twice. But the first 3 I really enjoy, and I watched all of them a couple of years ago. So I was fairly fresh for me. How about you, Jim? Every weekend? It was like 8:30 this morning. So I did think I better watch it. And I did invite my wife to watch it with me. She politely turned me down. So I watched it on my own. But Die Hard 1 I've seen it a lot. Die Hard 2, not as much, but again, a great film. But I need to watch that again sometime. So I watch it every Christmas. So and it's a tradition that I watch it every Christmas. So either alone, mostly alone because my wife won't watch it, but now and again she does take pity on me and joins me to watch it. So it's it's a McDougall family tradition that every Christmas I tick that box and watch it.
Oh, nice. You get some 2 hours on your own. I would say watching it this time. Well, we'll kind of get into it, but it did seem quite long. I think it seemed longer.
Oh, really?
Than in the past. And also then I was thinking because obviously when I first watched this, there was adverts as well because I would have watched it on TV, and I was like, well, God, this must have been like 4 hours worth of Christmas Day that was taken up with watching Die Hard. So better that we have the DVD. But I think it's super interesting about Bruce Willis. I was sort of looking at his career, and obviously this kind of pushes him into the action. And then I was reading a few things, and people kind of said, and then he kind of came back in the same way Travolta did in Pulp Fiction. But Pulp Fiction's like 94, and you look after this, he basically then like goes into Look Who's Talking. He does the second one of these. He's in the car crash that is the Bonfire of the Vanities, which sort of nearly ended everyone's career. But then like it's so, because you go through the list of films and he's the 8th like most grossing actor. There's not a lot of great films in his filmography. I feel it's a bit like LeBron in NBA, where, you know, he's scored the most points, but he's also taken like twice as many shots as everyone else. So,
but in that list of that top 10, I mean, Eddie Murphy must be in there, Adam Sandler must be in there. So, you know, probably even bloody Vin Diesel's probably in there. So, you know, I don't think top grossing necessarily means Oscar nominated films, but obviously you're doing something right that people want to go and watch, so it's entertainment, whichever way you look at it.
What would you say is, like, apart from this, what would you say is your next, like, this is Bruce Willis, this is the Bruce Willis film that you think of when you think of Bruce Willis?
Well, the first thing that's come to mind now is Last Boy Scout, but I don't know if that would definitely be
that's niche. But
it is niche. Yeah.
Was it Hearts War? Was it Hearts War he was in?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember it, but I just remember the front picture, him dressed up as a soldier, I think, with a hat. Yeah.
But if you're explaining to someone who Bruce Willis is, presumably Hearts War isn't the one you're like.
You obviously say he's John McClane. Well, he's done 5 films. And he's probably done about 4 Untouchables or whatever they're called as well.
Unbreakable, yeah.
Or whatever, whatever. Oh, no, what's the one with the Sly in?
I don't know what I mean. There'll be 2 or 3 in there.
We've all hit a blank. Oh my Lord.
We don't concentrate on those. Expendables.
Expendables, that's it.
Yeah.
I guess, Sixth Sense as well. That's probably one of these
That's
peaks.
the thing, like an Armageddon, would we say?
Yeah.
Classic. I just think of him though as John McClane, but also before that, Moonlighting. And that was sort of, you know, it wasn't obviously not a film, so apologies to mention a non-film on a film podcast, but I think of him, that's what I think of. Then it was an easy move into obviously Die Hard 1 from
Moonlighting.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, he does pop up on TV sort of throughout his career as well. He does almost feel like in some ways a TV actor, but then that is, as you say, Kev, that's the everymanness about him, which is so hard to do, because even now in sort of the movies that I think are very him now, it's the everyman, but the everyman is secretly has been like a rogue killer or an assassin and has the training, and so actually even the films trying to do it now, they don't actually manage to get just like, oh, he's just an ordinary person. It's always like, well, he's an ordinary person, but he has also done 15 years as a silent assassin. He's just ordinary now. So
I guess we kind of don't want that now, do we? We kind of we don't want that well, I guess maybe you'd say like no, but you're right. Even Nobody's had training, isn't he? So Nobody's probably the closest, I would say.
But then with Taken and with Taken in the Arctic and Taken on a plane. And, like that's
my God.
But again, I mean, it's like
if ever someone got typecasted, it was definitely Liam Neeson after Taken. My God, like Jesus, just to bang it, like just smash them out. And he would have had like a good array of good films, I think, and then they've just got obliterated with 20,000 versions of Taken. But
like that, I think that's he's almost the Bruce Willis of like the last 20 years.
For old people, isn't he? Like, I mean, he must be, isn't he older than Bruce Willis? I don't think he's a replacement, is he? I mean, we've said this before, I think Gosling's probably the closest now, but even, or maybe Statham, but like you said, Statham is always, he's like suitably trained, very, he's like in the, the Marines or something. He's always like really good. So
well, and that's the thing, because I mean, obviously the casting of him was sort of well known that they offered it to everyone, and including Arnie, where again we're like, so Arnie's just a cop, is he? He's just a normal cop. No, he's obviously
he
not.
Can't help
you can't
himself.
have him being a normal person.
I mean, he's got to fit in somewhere. He was actually a person, so he had to do something. But even I saw they said they offered it to Frank Sinatra. I mean, God, can you imagine Frank Sinatra doing this?
Well, that was because really technically it's a sequel, because it's based on a second book, and the first book Frank Sinatra was in. So I think like contractually obliged to offer it to him rather than anything else.
Happy that he said no.
Okay, well, let's. I mean, we're already talking about it, so let's jump in. But before we do, what drinks are we pouring out for this one? Jim, do you have a drink that you want to bring to the bar?
I'm having a pint of Lager Shandy.
Nice.
And do you want to know the reason, or should we just leave it hanging there?
we're both just like, that's
serious.
We're both like, it seems completely plausible, yeah.
I was going to go for a Jaeger one, but then I thought, no, pint of Lager Shandy. So, again, it's tied in with when I must be about 16, 17 watching this for the first time. And we always had Christmas at my aunt and uncle's house. And every year we had chili and Lager Shandy. Whatever age you were, that's what you had.
Wow.
As a young boy, it's like, test this out, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, fine, okay. So as always, I have that link to happy memories of Christmas, watching Die Hard, having a very hot chili, and being given pints of Lager Shandy to wash it down with. So that's the link with Die Hard. So it's a memory rather than a reaction to the film, if that's if that's okay.
Yes, that's great. I mean, that's a great one.
That's amazing. I'm just thinking about how young is it acceptable? What's the lowest age you can go? 12 months? Is that too Wow. I mean, definitely that's a way to harden you up, isn't it? Yeah. Hot chili. Yes. Yeah. Well, very good. I went for the sort of classic American. It had to be, I think you're right, it has to be in that sort of beer area. So I just went for Bud Light. Not that I'm going to particularly enjoy drinking it because it's not the best drink in the world, but it just, it felt like that was the kind of thing that you'd want to drink while watching Die Hard.
Nice. Maybe a bit, a bit of a dash of lemonade in there, lemonade top.
Yeah, it might need to be, to make it taste more palatable. Yeah.
Some of those bar nuts. Imagine you drinking and watching it with those bar nuts just everywhere around.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got lots of those. We'll be able to find some at the bar.
Just don't get them on the floor, just in case.
Yeah. Everyone gets their own bowl, because we know what happens when you share a bowl. So a little bit of research by our mixologist here at the bar. There is actually a Yippee-Ki-Yay cocktail.
Wow.
So it's an ounce and a half of rye whiskey, then some American vermouth, some hot honey, and then you get some candy glass shards to sprinkle on top. Just for the glass shard effect for garnish.
Very impressive.
So if you hear me crunching away in the background, that's because I'm getting through.
Nice, very impressive. Do we have a sponsor again this week, Andy?
Oh yes, we did. Yeah, it's the same sponsor as last week. So many times when we used to go out on a Friday night, we'd all be taking photos. Now I have more photos of Jim and Kev getting up to mischief in Soho than they have, because they're all stuck on my photo gallery, and I never share them with anyone. That's solved these days by OutOut, Shared Memories, the app where you can set up a night out. Everyone can take photos, share it on the app, and then everyone can have access, download them, or keep them for a memory for all time on the app.
Yeah.
It's a great way to enhance real life actually going out, rather than trying to spend your life through social media, which I think we're all too old to do, and so think is rubbish. So that's OutOut Shared Memories. Download the app, use it to share the memories of real world life events, and they're the sponsor.
Just remember the memories, right? sometimes some of us can't even remember them at this age. So
Kev,
there they all are.
literally uses it day to day to remember to go to work and what movie he's watched as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, always. So, okay, well, let's get on to the one-word reactions then. So I imagine Jim's is going to be good. So let's start with yours first then, Andy, and we'll go on to Jim's.
So my one-word reaction is everyman. I do think I think there's two things that kind of just straight away I think is really good. First of all, it is a classic 80s action movie in the fact that it is an action movie, but with just a couple of edits and a couple of swear words taken out, then you can put it on TV, because actually the sort of action is very condensed into a couple of bits. So you can just edit out like a couple of headshots and actually it plays on TV really, really nicely. Yeah. And then I do think it is a thriller masquerading as an action movie. Really? I think there is so much like I think that the plot and the characters are so well drawn and so well done that like there is, as you said, like every time you watch it, there is actually something new, because it is a really good, well scripted, like you do have that flip of the terrorists. You do, it is actually like a thriller, but then there's kind of action going on alongside it in like 10 or 11 places. It is an action film, but I think like if you compare it to something like Running Man or something that is the ones that we've done. I think this is the thing.
Yeah, that's the problem. You're comparing it to action movies that we've watched that are bad action movies. So I think you're right. I noticed that watching this. I was like, rather than just going straight into it or just doing some scrolling dialogue through the screen, they've actually set up the scene quite nicely, rather than in 3 minutes, over about 20 to 25 minutes. And it's actually paced out quite nicely. Whereas, the other action movies,
exactly. Okay, well, we're just, same with Brewster's Millions. We'll just put a couple of words on to explain the plot. But they build it up nicely. You get the estrangement between him and his wife. You kind of get that he's, a bit of a loner. I think Ellis is just great. He's such a dick right from the start. I always enjoy his character, because you're like, if there's anyone that you don't mind getting shot, it's Ellis.
It's good old Ellis. Okay.
So
well, nice. What about you then, Jim? I'm presuming yours is going to be pretty good.
I'm not sure if it's one or two words. It might have a hyphen, so bear with me. Mine is heartwarming.
Wow. So you've gone romance and he's gone thriller. I think I might watch a different film.
It's just got everything. It's Christmas. You have the whole family. It might be on VHS, or it might be, as Andy said, on BBC One or ITV, where you've got the adverts, and you've got all ages. And I just remember watching, all ages, sitting around there with our slightly warm shandy, and it's got everything. As Andy said, it's got that romance. It's got Bruce, John McClane, who, let's be honest, he would be great for a family barbecue. He'd have some great stories, and he's. The Nakatomi Tower, that's destroyed, but everyone comes out. It's just, you come away from it and everyone, you can just see, everyone feels better. Everyone, it's that Christmas heartwarming. They've got back together. Carl finally got shot by the guy who didn't shoot anyone. It's everyone, everyone's a winner except for the terrorists. So, it's just a beautifully crafted. I'm amazed that people don't sort of, an A level instead of Shakespeare. I'm amazed they don't sort of study Die Hard, because it's a beautiful film. But I just, even coming up today, I felt a little bit cheerier at the end of that 2 hours, 12 minutes, or whatever it was. It's just a good story.
The moral of the story is, thank goodness, LA cop learns how to kill again.
I completely forgot about that scene, and I was like, why on earth is this in there? Like the Carl somehow is like some superhuman that gets himself down after he's been strangled, and then somehow makes his way through the entire building, comes out, and then Al's like, I guess it's time to start killing again. And you're like, what? Why is this scene in there?
he has this coat over him, like a little Red Riding Hood cloak, and he suddenly throws it apart, and there he is. It's like, surely someone has noticed this guy walking through the building. It's brilliant. It ends on a high. It's beautiful.
But I think with that, again, like they could all be terrorists, but it's because it's his brother that dies, and it's a nice little touch that makes it more personal. So then, like, he's a bit more unhinged going after McClane, which I think like that. In another film, he could just be like, one more terrorist, and he's just doing or one more thief, as we should call them. They're not terrorists, actually. They're just thieves.
Well, that's the thing.
I would say right at the end, though, Bruce does seem way happier to see Al than to see his wife.
He's bonded,
it is a very heartwarming greeting with Al after they've just been talking on the CB a little bit. But he gets almost more emotional seeing him than he does getting back with his wife, which I don't know.
That is true. They've gone through it, it's like trauma bonding, isn't it? They've gone through something together that they didn't expect was going to happen. So
I mean, they're just on the radio, basically telling they're having this like bromance on the radio, but it's an open radio, so everyone else is listening to it, and they're just like, guys, can you not? We're trying to concentrate right now. So. What about you, Kev? As good as you remember? Anything you said? A couple of bits that you hadn't remembered.
Yeah, I think it definitely. I did notice the pace at the start. The pace at the start is a much better pacing for like a good action movie, and that's why I think it is more closer to that, or just over that 2 hour mark. Like when we've seen some of the other films that we've watched in the 80s, like you said, like The Running Man, Escape from New York, all those sort of films literally lay it out in 3 minutes, and it's like, right, let's go. Whereas I think this does pace it quite nice at the start. I did think the middle bit when it's just the FBI and the cops are there and they're doing that whole scene, and there's not as much of like Bruce in it. I think it lost a bit of momentum during that piece for me. I was like, this is just getting a bit. It just felt a bit slow. It was just like, okay, and then they're coming in. They're not coming in. They're about to come in. They're going in, but it's too. No, don't go in. But they're in. And then I'll bring out the car, and then the cars, and you're just like, guys, this is just getting a bit boring. Get on with it. Like either you're breaching or you're not. Like it's happening or it isn't happening. So I think that bit for me felt a bit slow, but the rest of it I think is, it is really well paced. It's really well put together. I think, you forget about, because you always remember the bit with Bruce and Alan Rickman, obviously when there's a scene where they get together, but when you when you're watching it for a podcast to analyze, you're like, wow, that's actually a genius move to have in the film, to have them both together where they both aren't unsure of each other. They're sort of not sure if they are the other person, but they're both pretending. To have them as a scene together, I think, that was so clever. And obviously both of them incredible actors. So it was great seeing them play off each other. But that was really good. And then the bit that I noticed this time around that I hadn't noticed before, the whole thing about the shoes, why he's not wearing the shoes, is because the guy on the plane tells him to take his shoes off. So that's why you had the whole thing on the plane at the start is all set up for him to get his feet cut later. But God, the amount of times I've seen this film and that's just gone straight over my head, completely wasted on me. So
how many people would ball up their feet after a flight just based on this film? Everyone was like, no, it's true. I read it somewhere, and no, it's from Die Hard. It's just that he doesn't have any shoes on. Although I'm not sure they're taking the gun on the plane these days, and I'm not sure that you just allow a cop to take it.
It is fun, isn't it? It's it feels so jarring, isn't it? When you're just like, God, can people just like literally just take guns everywhere, can't they? Like, it's just bonkers. But maybe less so on planes now, which is good. But
Kev, I'm interested that you didn't like the FBI agents, because I think that's quite a nice sort of little side story. How they just come in and they just think they can do whatever they want, and you can see the disaster about to happen. I think it's just a nice step on from, is it Dwayne who's the chief? Like the incompetent chief guy, and then they go to the FBI agent. So I quite like that little bit. It sort of breaks it up a bit for me.
Johnson and Johnson. Why they give them the same name is just basically they do it for two gags. First of all, they say Johnson and Johnson, not related, and then the second one is he says, "This is Agent Johnson." No, the other one. On a phone call, and then that's the only reason they do. Okay, so here's a question for you though on the FBI. Is this a better use of drawn out FBI? So when Alan Rickman says, "You ask for a miracle, I give you the FBI," or is Keanu's a better one where he says, "I am an FBI agent"? Which one? I think they're both at the top for best.
Both very good.
Best times the FBI has said.
Rickman's just so good, isn't he? That's the problem. Yeah. He's so good. And the bonkers thing is that this was his first film. That just seems absolutely crazy. But
oh, was it? I didn't realise that. This is his first film.
Yeah, so he'd done stage work before, but this is his first time it was in an actual film. Which just seems crazy, right? He just seems so good in it. So you're just like, how does that even seem possible? I think I'd probably lean towards Rickman. I think his delivery of his lines was just, it's just so good. It was a pleasure, it's watching just such him back again.
It really just brings everything back to them that they have actually planned it all out. And he's No, I think it's a great one. I mean, Keanu's happy with second.
Exactly. And very good from Keanu as well, but just different.
And I mean, I would say, so I watched the first three going through it. I think the third one for me it just becomes a bit kind of cartoonish, to be honest with you. The whole sending around everywhere. The second one, actually, I really, really enjoyed the second one because you get more Bruce with other people. And I think that's the thing with in this film, you kind of, it's just him on his own a lot of the time, kind of talking to himself in order to bring it. But I think the problem is that you don't have a baddie who's as good as Alan Rickman. And I think that's the thing. The second one is really good and I really like the story, but Rickman is so magnetic in this and is just so great. All of his, even the throwaway lines where he's, when he's going through the people to free and he's like, I read about them in Newsweek, and it's just such a he's just such a sort of a cool villain in it. I think that's why this one is still at the top.
Yeah. He is so good, isn't he? You're right. Yeah. It was funny you saying that. It's one of the things I noticed as well was that you don't really think about it until you really sort of analysing the film. But there's a lot where he's moving the scenes along by just talking to himself because obviously no one else is there. And so you're like, wow, you don't really think about that now, right? That in the film nowadays, I don't know whether they'd had narration over the top or something, but it's quite interesting that he's just sitting there and that gives it that everyman feel more, right? Where he's just sitting there talking to himself come on, John, what are we going to do now? And you're he does feel more normal by him doing that because you kind of feel that's, we all sort of talk to ourselves from time to time. Not necessarily in those scenarios, but maybe with our shoes on, but we're still the best. But there was
kind of really reminded me of Last Boy Scout though. With that, I kind of it made me think all the time in Last Boy Scout. I think he's playing a lot more of a sort of John McClane in Last Boy Scout. And kind of because he has a lot of kind of muttering into himself and stuff like that, and I kind of saw the through line a lot, a lot more watching Die Hard this time. I was like, that's where a lot of the Last Boy Scout. But that's the thing, Last Boy Scout is all just all action, whereas this does have multiple threads going through. It does have lots of characterization, which is really good. It does elevate it as well for sure.
So so then let's score them then. Let's go through them both. So Jim, what would you, if you would, we'll ignore 4 and 5, but how would you rate what's 1, 2 and 3, what order?
So I literally cannot remember 3, I'll be honest. I haven't seen that for years and years. I'd always go 1, but 2 is very, very close for me. I think it's a great follow. I love the fact, you've got the bit in the air, you've got the military bit where you're not quite sure, are they goodies, are they baddies? The whole airport thing is good. So for me, I just think it's a great a great sequel to a great film, because often they're dreadful, aren't they? And they're just trying to replicate it. But I think, and sometimes every now and again I do sort of, I mix it up, and instead of Die Hard 1 for Christmas, I do flick to Die Hard 2. So, I'm not the...
There you go.
I do live on the edge. And so,
you're crazy. You're crazy, man.
And again, the whole Christmas and the snow and things. So, but yeah, I will have seen 3 and the others, but I don't know. Maybe subconsciously I'm thinking, will they dilute 1 and 2 if I watch those other ones? So honestly, I can't remember 3. The other ones I probably saw years ago.
The difference with 3 as well is that Holly isn't in it. Like he's had an argument with her or something, and I do think that like having her there in 1 and 2, like she, first of all, she's a good actress, so she can carry a scene on her own, and it does. It does sort of, it brings something extra. And I think that's the thing, especially funnily enough, especially in 2, when she's on the plane and you're just kind of like, okay, well, you kind of almost feel the peril more than in the first one. Whereas by 3 and then sort of onwards, it's just all about, it's all about Bruce Willis. So.
It's all about Bruce, yeah. So what about you then, Andy? Yeah. Like, it sounds like you really enjoyed the second one. And so does that sneak ahead of the first?
Yeah, I think this because it is the original, maybe, but I think the pacing on the second one is better. I think it moves much quicker. You've got, it begins a lot quicker because actually he like notices that some people are going behind, and then you've got the cop that he kind of plays against, the airport cop, which gets a bit annoying. But I just think it moves. Yeah, it moves a bit quicker, and you've kind of you kind of get into it all a bit quicker. I think that it does get a little bit ridiculous towards the end, especially like where he ejects himself from the plane and then doesn't break every bone in his body when he lands. But like,
it's and the that's beginning what this of one, the Fast and the Furious, isn't it? It's like this is how it all started. Yeah,
but like I think that's because with this one they do. Obviously, it's not realistic, but I think they just about shade it on that everyman. This could happen. Yeah. Like, he's quite beaten up, but like he can still be going. And I think in the second one, it starts to get, and then by the third and the fourth and the fifth, you're just like, oh, so he's like, some superhero who's invulnerable and unbreakable, and it gets a bit silly. So, I think you can't. This has so many iconic shots and scenes and lines
and quotes.
Yeah,
it is, and that's the thing. Everyone knows it, don't they? They know the quotes. They know, like you said, they know the scenes. But it was funny actually. I was thinking about like when you're watching it now, and obviously like you watch it as an action movie, it just feels like or a thriller or a romance, whichever camp that you're in. But watching it now when you're watching it with a critical eye, I was like, so he wrapped that C4 to the monitor, pushed the chair down, and it blew up an entire floor of the building.
That seems
could quite easily have completely collapsed. Everyone's dead.
Very flammable,
completely
computer.
Unnecessary. It just like seems like that seemed excessive response to the fact that he'd blown up a car. It seems a lot.
No, that seemed like a high risk maneuver, I would say. But that's the thing. He's not a tactical genius. He's just a guy with the power of C4 and access to
computers.
We
could all be doing that. Yeah, we're all like, we'll just accidentally added that C4 to that monitor.
I mean, why doesn't the chief of police just start talking to Hans on the radio? He just he seems to be waiting for some reason, and then also that the person controlling all the cameras is never like, oh, there's a limo that seems to be driving around the car park. So we're not saying true. It's flawless, but there's bits and pieces.
Good old Argyle. I don't remember Argyle being so young. Like, I mean, obviously he hasn't changed, but I was like, wow, he seems much younger than I remember. But even that's a good scene as well when he's picking him up and he's like, oh, I guess you're here for me. And he's like, yeah, I guess so. And he's like, okay, what do we do? And then he just sits at the front in the limo with Argyle, and they just have a chat. And obviously then, get a cracking old tape cassette out. I mean, God, takes you back.
Amazing seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah, God.
Offers to hook him up. You remember when limo drivers could just, we can go and get some girls. Really? Is that what you just met him 5 minutes ago? I'm not sure about that.
The limos of the 80s.
Yeah.
There you are. Well, I guess we better start getting into these top trumps then.
I feel like this. I'm on a hiding to nothing because anything under 100, Jim is just going to be like complaining.
Well, remember, it's perfectly fine. It wasn't on your list, Andy, so you don't have to give him 100. But it is going to be an interesting one because it's going up against a good one today. So we'll be interested to see how we go.
Yeah.
So first watch.
Yeah. So first watch, I went for 80. I think it is
solid.
It is a classic. I think this is one of those films that I think it maybe feels a touch long, but at the time it did and obviously it's well known that after this it basically every film script was like Die Hard on a ... And I think I think it did change the game probably more than most of the action thriller romances.
Definitely.
That were at the same time.
Rewatch then. I'm interested in this because you just said that you enjoyed it. You hadn't seen it for a while. You then went through the first 3 films. So where are we going with this?
I kept it at 75.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure that I'm quite at the gym level of watching every Christmas. I think I'd be able to remember it. But no, definitely above most of the films that we've done. I think it does. I think you can rewatch it. I don't think it does. Well, just generally out of both of our lists. But I think it's it is elite, and again, it's kind of it is something almost that you can have in the background because again there is like downtime, but then you can also just watch it all the way through. Because there's a lot more going on.
There's a lot of iconic scenes, isn't there? Like you said, so you could have it on in the background and go, oh, hold on a minute, this is just this scene. I'm just going to watch this, and so it's good.
Yeah.
Well, romance then. I mean, there's a few different types of romance in this film, as Jim alluded to. It's very heartwarming. So, what are you going to give on
love
this?
Of money, love romance. I gave it 63. I do think the dynamic with Holly is really good. Actually, I think that is that is at the heart of it. Obviously, because he's coming back. He's trying to get back into the family. He does have 2 kids, and he's only got 1 teddy bear, which I think is a bit controversial. Clearly, one of his kids is more of a favourite than the other one.
Good spot.
He couldn't pay for the extra luggage. It's too expensive. Yeah.
maybe that was for Argyle, and he just bought it as a tip. But no, I do think I do think it is good, and it is a good romance between him and Al as well. We like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Level of action then. We know that you've been up and down on this category, so let's see let's see how you go.
Yeah, so I went for 77. I don't think it's I don't think it's like full out action. Yeah. But I think that which is good. I think there's a lot of explosions, and there's also a lot of not explosions. But I think the gunfights are really good. I do all of the time. Again, it kind of felt quite Bourne-esque, where the close-up fighting felt pretty brutal as well. It did feel I do think the fights themselves, not just the gunfights, but the actual fights, they do feel quite physical and quite visceral. And I think that's he does get beaten up a bit, doesn't he? As well, that's the thing. You're right. When you think about Bourne or John Wick, even though they do get hit a bit. I mean, John Wick gets hit when he's taking on 20,000 people, whereas this is Bruce is getting pummeled when it's 1-on-1. So it does feel a lot more realistic in that sense. I mean, realistic up to a point. Obviously, after the first fight, he'd actually just have to go and sit down for a week because he'd have concussion and black eye.
This has gone badly. I'm just going to go to floor 30 and sit down with everyone else. Yeah.
But yeah, and that was, I was thinking about Die Hard 2 as well. Like that, probably a little bit more action, but also Die Hard 2 does start with naked Tai Chi, which I know is a favourite of yours as a movie trope. So
it's obviously a trope of the 80s, isn't it?
Exactly,
and little do we know, who knew that it was going to come back with such a vengeance in 2026 with where you can get a sculpted abs just from doing Tai Chi. I mean, who knew?
Yeah, I mean, only people over a certain age demographic looking at Instagram, but yeah.
Yes, it's true. Soundtrack then? Yeah, we just spoke about how, the Christmas feel to it.
Yeah, I went for 55. I think there's the score is really good. It's very Christmassy. I feel like there could have been an 80s like banger at some stage as well. This is the 80s. Like at the end, you just want you want a really really good soft rock song, and I feel like they I just feel like
the Danger Zone or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You need like those sort of like you think about Back to the Future as well. Like you're right, you want to leave the cinema like on that nice high, don't you?
Yeah, I mean you're already leaving on a high. Obviously, Jim is world peace is coming after this. You just need
it's a chilly high. He's more like
it's a chilly shandy high.
Chilly shandy high.
So yeah, but no, it's a good score, and I do think the Christmas they do use a lot of different Christmas music in it, which
that's good.
Didn't remember.
All right, well, I mean, best line. This is going to be interesting because there are so many good lines. So which is it that you're actually going to pick?
So I went for I avoided the well-known ones. I think it's funny with Holly's secretary at the start. She says, "Oh, do you think the baby's ready for a little drink?" And she says, "That baby's ready to 10 bar." Which is that like a massive burn on the fact that she's been drinking a lot while she's been pregnant? You're just like, wait, what? That doesn't seem very nice. So yeah, I didn't. I just wondered whether she's actually a really nasty person. I love it again when he's talking to himself and he's like, think, John, and then he stares across the road and there's a naked woman at the window. I think that is just. That's just so 80s.
Definitely some weird 80s things, aren't there?
What has that got to do with anything? Which I just wanted to mention.
Some weird.
Yeah.
And it's weird actually looking back on it now. Like there's a point when he comes out the top of the lift and he's like going to the roof and he just goes past and there's like a topless calendar there or something. And you're just like now watching it, you're like, why have you even put that in there? Like why would that it's not part of the plot at all, right? He just looks at it and then walks past. You're just like, why is it there? It's so weird.
Because men go to the movies and men likes boobs. That's basically
exactly.
That was the marketing. That was the note from the studio in the 80s. I like it when he says we'll be sitting on a beach earning 20%. Remember those days when you could be earning 20% just in interest? That's
God, that would have been good, wouldn't it? Yeah, not anymore. Now I get charged 20% interest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not making any money. I love it when he says, "I'm an exceptional thief, and as I'm moving up to kidnapping, you should be more polite." I thought that was
that's good.
That's a good.
And also his facial expression when he does it and the speed he goes towards that.
Yeah,
it's the whole thing is just amazing, that line.
Yeah, and I think she actually like sits back and like backs off a little, and you think, I wonder whether that's actually just her reaction. We see like slides over. And I love it when the helicopter with the FBI agents, talking about the FBI agents, the helicopter gets blown up and lands, and then obviously they're all dead, and the police captain, who's obviously an idiot all the way through, but he says, "Oh, we're going to need some more FBI guys, I guess." Just like zero
no compassion
for the FBI guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So just to say, we're going to need some more.
Johnson & Johnson, God.
Yeah, Johnson & Johnson.
Bring in Unilever.
So those were the obviously you've got the Yippee-ki-yay, which is again has just kind of entered
the classics.
Entered into.
So which are you going to go for? What's going to be your choice?
I think I'm going to go for we're going to need some more FBI guys, I guess, because I think that's just a great line.
All right. Well, it's time then. Let's see. Let's get the mashup going. I'm keen on this one.
It's up against an absolute banger, obviously, but almost too much of one for AI to be able to cope by making a combined movie. So apart from the title, which is A Hard Day's Night, spelled KNIGHT, which I thought was actually that's a really good thing. But basically, it's
you've got the song sorted as well, so it's great for the movie.
It's up against Night and Day. Yeah. And literally,
spoilers.
AI just couldn't come up with anything other than just either putting John McClane in Night and Day and just describing Night and Day, but there's a policeman in it, or describing Die Hard, but Roy Miller is in it. And so it just it wasn't
just too
it just wasn't creative, at all, because
you cannot replace Bruce Willis and Tom Cruise. They're just two big planets. They can't be put in together.
You can literally just add them easily, or you just can't do it at all. So
So no
and also
mashup.
there's also someone's almost done a bit of a mashup in the 3-star reviews. So I want to spend some time on a great description of the movie that someone's put in the 3-star reviews instead.
Right, cool. Well, I mean, that's fair. I mean, it is what it was 70. So it's 77 on your list. Night and Day was number 7 out of your 100 for me. So it was very high up. So
it's a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good movie. Scores reflect that. This was early on as well, actually. I remember the days where I was like, wow, this is actually we've seen like a good film. This is great.
I'm right there with you.
There are a lot of bad films at the start, Jim. And as Andy's obviously experiencing with my list now as well. So you had first watch 80, which I think is definitely a solid one. I went for 72. So maybe a tad too high, but 72 for first watch. For rewatch, I've actually gone for 87. So I've gone higher. And I think that's because when we rewatched it, every time we've rewatched it and spoken about it, it just seems to somehow get better. I don't know if it's possible or if I don't know what's happening. I'm getting more drunk. Who knows? But I've just gone high on the rewatch. I think the rewatch is higher.
It really does stand out. Did you, Jim? Did you watch Night and Day with us the first time at Somerset House?
No, we went to a very old film we watched. I can't remember what it was called. I just remember my bottom being numb, sitting on the floor for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think it was a more
Somerset House experience. Yeah.
with Night and Day, you wouldn't have noticed.
Wouldn't have noticed. It's a great film, Night and Day. Great film.
Yeah.
It is a classic. Romance, there is a good amount of romance in it again, I don't know if it's maybe more, it's not so much one-way romance. They do sort of pull it back a little bit the other way as the film goes on. But I've gone for 72, so pretty high on there. Level of action, good. I've gone 75. You had 77, so that was tight.
I think that's fair. There's just a little bit less. There's good fighting, but there's
like the fight scenes are epic, I think, when they're in, but I think there are probably fewer than there are in Die Hard from memory. And then soundtrack, I don't particularly remember the soundtrack being anything like particularly
of any
amazing.
Film on my list.
On your list, yes. But this one specifically, I don't remember anything. So I've just gone 38 on that one, so not too high. And then obviously the line, it had to be with me, without me, with me, without me. It had to be.
So almost as good as Yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there, aren't they? I mean, they have got their lines. Do you want to roll or should I roll?
You give it a roll.
All right, let's go. Let's see what we get on. Oh, action. Oh, you've won.
Die Hard,
sad times for me.
Just
Die Hard wins. You'll be happy, Jim.
Yeah. There's justice in the world.
That was actually a good one. That was a close. It could have gone either way on that side. So
Could have gone either
look
way.
at you getting some wins back in, Andy.
I think
Happy with
that stops a run that you were definitely
was
on.
a run.
So
Yeah, that was a good run. But there's plenty of time to go.
There's plenty more films on the list.
Yeah.
So what do you think old John would be getting up to these days?
Yeah, what do you reckon, Jim?
I think he would be probably head of security in a supermarket, running an incredibly tight ship. I think that's what he would, after a very distinguished police career. I think he would, look for his next challenge. And he would be on the door running a very tight ship in a supermarket. I think he'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Helpful, yet, you'd know where you
Poised.
stand. Yeah, exactly. Ready for action. I think he'd probably get a few disciplinaries because, obviously wearing that vest and no shoes would not go with the dress code policy. But once he'd got over that, I think he'd probably be a top employee. So
HR would be very disappointed with his his general uniform.
I've told you about the shoes.
Until someone tries to rob him, and then he's like, "Oh, right, now we needed it. Now we know why he doesn't wear the shoes." It makes sense.
Barefoot running, it's all the rage these days.
Frozen food, it'd be perfect. So
exactly.
Second career as distinguished as the first, I reckon.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. What about you, Andy? What did you have?
Yeah. I had him as retired in a retirement home or a small town in a small town where there's a murder every week and he has to try and solve it in his spare time. Holly just keeps telling him not to get involved, but he just can't resist and he gets involved. And, I'm watching that movie. I'm watching that TV series.
That TV series, yeah. You're like, how do all these people keep dying in this same town? Don't worry about that. Let's move on.
How about you, Kev? What did you have?
I had him as a late night radio DJ. I was like, he's changed a career. He's got old and he's like, you know what? I just need to. He's got some extreme medication and he's just very chilled now. He's just really relaxed. And
one of those ones you phone up with your problems. And he's
like,
his late night
I can help you out. Like Midnight Caller. He's like, let me sort this out for you.
And every time he's suggesting to go and shoot them, and he's like, "No, John, you can't keep suggesting this."
Yeah. Have you got a gun? Yeah, you should. This is what I suggest.
Maybe just him and Al podcasting together. Everyone's got podcasts these days, so
I could see that.
they can just talk about their old war stories and. Remember that time when we shot that guy? Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, do you remember that guy relived somehow after he was already dead? Yeah,
I
how
have
did that happen.
I have had a meeting in sort of the distance of being able to see Nakatomi Plaza on the 20th Century
lovely.
Fox, and it is very distracting because you just can't help but stare at it, waiting for something to happen. So it's very funny to see it.
Oh, nice.
I've always wondered what happened to Theo, because he survives, doesn't he? Does he get knocked out at the end by Argyle in the ambulance? Doesn't Argyle drive it and then punches him and hurts his hand? So that could have been a spin-off as well.
Well, because Argyle doesn't mention him to anything, so maybe he just walked out and he was just
he's just like.
To be fair, out of all the terrorists, he seems to have more skills than the rest of them, to be honest with you, because there were basically 7 pieces of security on the vault. He gets through 6 of them on his own, and. Then they get the FBI to do the 7th. So I'm not really sure why you need everyone else. You just kind of need Alan Rickman. You need Hans and Theo. They could have done it as a two-person team.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I wonder what does happen to him. Maybe he went on to become like a multimillionaire. He's probably like a Silicon Valley like executive now or something. Yeah. Oh man, they make it, don't they? What about one thing would change then? Yeah. What about you, Jim? So is there? I mean, this would put you to the test. A film that you love. Is there anything that you would change?
So I didn't actually think this was a serious question when I looked at the spreadsheet.
That must be a typo.
Make it longer.
like those old Christmas movies that goes on about 4 hours. I think, if I was hypercritical, it's interesting when you do. I watched the Bourne films this week as well, and they're quite pacey. I mean, the first one isn't, but the others get a bit pacey. I think sometimes with Die Hard, it's a reflection of the time, isn't it? It sort of starts off a bit slow, then you have fast bit, then it slows down. So maybe just the paciness, but that might just be where we are now with films and how they make them and what you get used to. Like, they're all they're fast and furious, aren't they, in the camera? But at the time,
it was a TikToker. Your attention span's gone.
Exactly.
You're so down with the kids.
But no, I think at the time,
fair enough.
Go back to first watch. Would you change anything? Would I change anything? No, it was that is perfection.
It's still good.
So I'll stick with that. All good.
Fair enough. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, funnily enough, I had exactly the same. That it takes a while to get going, but that's the charm, and I do think like that's the power of it. So no, I don't think there's anything that I would change. I think it is really well made, like full movie. I think everyone's really good in it. All of the terrorists even I think are good in it. Like obviously you wouldn't change anyone in the main cast.
No,
So
wow, it sounds like it might be approaching your top 100 at this rate.
I mean, there's a lot of love for this film. It is a classic. I was trying to think who would be the modern day Ellis. Who could you get now? Who you're just like you just really are happy to see killed by the terrorists. And it's a difficult role to have. You just need to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Actually, he's a wrong 'un. So I'm quite happy he's been killed.
I don't know. Who could you do it? Would it be like I don't know. That is a tough one, isn't it? Someone that you'd just despise them immediately.
But has to also pull off being like a banker or whatever it is that they do. Because obviously Buscemi sort of sprang to mind, but like obviously no one's buying him as the ultra smooth operator. I did. I mean, obviously, every movie has Glenn Powell in these days, and I do think that he would be he'd be a good person just to kill straight away.
You just need to get rid of him in the beginning. Yeah. What about Christian Bale? I think he could probably be annoying
he'd
enough.
Bring a bit of pathos to it.
Yeah. He could be annoying.
And you could tie it into American Psycho.
Yeah. Great film. I think for me, I just had removing the owl killing Carl scene. I just don't think you need it. Like, and it's a weird, like, sort of takeaway, isn't it? Of like, I can kill people again now. This is great. Like it's just a strange thing to add on at the end after you go through the whole thing of him like, I don't shoot my gun anymore because, I shot like a kid. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then you're like, but why not? Let's do it in this film. So I think I've just removed that bit.
How do you end it then? Is it like a police squad where they're sort of all laughing and then they freeze frame and then the credits roll?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's just like the end of Die Hard 2, right? You just have Bruce and Holly at the end and it just sort of fades away, right? So you get like a good classic 80s song coming on and then you're done. Yeah.
Fight with Carl, the initial fight, sort of reminds me a little bit. Remember the sort of the end of Lethal Weapon where they have that karate fight in the water and he doesn't quite finish him off. It's very similar, isn't it, in terms of that? And another great film. So I'm looking forward to being invited back to talk about Lethal Weapon 1. So thanks, Andy.
Yeah, with old Boosie, where all the police are just around and they're like, no, this is on me. And you're like, no, you're not allowed to just beat people up.
You imagine them taking bets behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, the LA police, aren't they great?
I know.
Everyone buys that they would just stand around watching a fight.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. Oh, is it okay? I'm not sure it is. Well, 3-star reviews then. It sounds like you've got some humdingers.
Yeah. So, yeah, someone said a little disappointed that it doesn't state 30th anniversary on the box, like the photo. I bought this just for the purpose of having an anniversary title on the box. Was that you, Jim?
Sounds familiar. From HMV. Yeah.
I've got Die Hard on 7 different DVDs. This was the one that I was waiting for the 30th.
And just want the sticker. Yeah.
Yeah. And then someone said, although a very good movie, the title and the ending didn't exactly match up. So I'm not sure whether they expected
everyone should die.
him to die at the end, or I'm not sure.
Hard. Yeah.
And then someone has decided to write a comedy description of the plot in the 3-star reviews. So here we go.
Yeah.
In 1987, fresh from his success on The Muppet Show and Gentle Ben, Bruce Willis made the step onto the big screen. In this low-budget action film based on the comic book series, he plays hardened ambulance driver John McClane, a man who finds himself caught up on a hostage siege in an apartment block in Canada. Leading the terrorist gang, who are all French, is renowned English actor Hugh Grant, who chills as Hans Zimmer. Although Grant does a passable French accent, he was wisely redubbed by veteran comic Bernard Manning. In other scenes, Grant's own voice is used and subtitles are displayed. Angela Lansbury, star of TV's Columbo, plays Willis's long-suffering wife, Kelly McCluskey. The 25-year age gap between the leads is just believable, although Lansbury was wisely body-doubled for the steamy shower love scene.
Yeah, wow.
Generally, the acting and pacing of the film are good, although there are some musical numbers which are jarringly out of place amidst the scenes of carnage and explosions. Willis's insistence on including his then-hit single Under the Boardwalk whenever the character is on screen was also a misfire. The end fight between Willis and chief henchman Luigi, played by Patrick Stewart, is good. Stewart, who was in great shape at the time, gets to show off his rippling six-pack and showcase his famous split kicks. The musical score by composer Andrew Lloyd Webber is haunting, although use of percussion instruments like the bongo drum and xylophone do seem to drown out the detail. All in all, a solid effort if you like your action films a little rustic. Decision to shoot the film in black and white is also commendable at a time when colour films were becoming all the rage.
Wow. That is... I mean, do you think it's AI? It sounds a bit AI.
Well, no, it's from 2007. So it was very early AI. All of that time and effort for a 3-star review, that we know no one is ever going to read or do. So it's just
Hugh Grant,
he
would have been amazing.
yeah. Could you imagine Hugh Grant? Yeah.
Hugh Grant. That sounds Bieber.
Maybe he'd have been Alice.
That'd be true. He'd be able to. He'd be able to play someone that you want to kill straight away.
I mean, I'm trying to work out if it's funny, if it's plausible. I don't know. I mean, I like the fact that they've done it. I like the fact that they've just made up an entire new plot, and hopefully they've got some more 3-star reviews that we'll get to enjoy.
It made me smile when he said that he played Hans Zimmer. I thought that was quite funny. Kev. Don't feel any pressure as Jim's on his 6th Lager Shandy and staring at you intently. At number 77 on your list so far, just so you know, Jim, there's not a lot of rhyme and reason to the order that Kev puts his films in. So it's not to say that he thinks that this is the 77th best film in the world. But where does it go? Does it stay? Does it go up? Does it go down?
As we know, there's a lot of time and effort that goes into me reordering my films, and a lot of understanding and appreciation. With that being said,
why have you got that dartboard with random numbers on that you're throwing a dart at?
With 1 to 100 on it. It's a shame I keep hitting the same number. So I've gone 85. So it falls down slightly. Not that I didn't enjoy it. I still did enjoy it. I do think, like as you guys have said, it did feel a little bit off in the middle. Pacing felt a bit off. Still enjoyed it. So it goes, it's above some really good other films now. Kingsman, Drive, 2 very good films that I really enjoyed. So yeah, 85 is where it's going for now. So we'll see. Who knows? Everything's gonna get reordered at some point, I'm sure. So we'll see. What about you,
never
Andy?
coming on this podcast again.
Not for all the Shandies in the world.
Podcast, I don't believe it. It's gone down.
You've definitely come to the wrong place if that's what you're thinking.
You've definitely never listened to any of the other episodes as well.
Yeah, Punk Express, presumably that's higher.
Yeah.
So what about you, Andy? I mean, that's low for you, Kev, as well, because we know that you love Christmas. You're like Christmas's biggest fan.
Yeah. I mean, I think like you said, like I remember this being just a film rather than a Christmas film. So it wasn't really until like older where it would be classified as a Christmas film for me. So I remember having it on VHS, and watching it a lot, and it was a very, very good movie. And I think like you said, Jim, maybe, and we've said this, and it's difficult with action because it's moved on so much and it's so quicker now. It is hard when you go back. It's not, but I do think that the story holds up really well, and having someone like Alan Rickman in here as well really helps keep this film still relevant now. But yeah, enjoyed it. But I think I'm going to watch the second one. Actually, I haven't seen the second one for a few years, so I think I'm going to see what that's about again. Maybe that will go up there instead. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you then, Andy? Is it in the good section?
It's in the good section. Yeah, and it's sort of so it's at 82, so it's just by sort of Jurassic Park and the good. It's a good movie, for sure. Not on my favorite list, Jim. I apologize, but no, it is good. And actually, I feel like it really held up. And like I say, I think there is more going on than I actually remember. I kind of you remember Die Hard as an action film, but actually, I think because of Rickman, honestly, because Bruce Willis isn't an action actor, then actually he brings the everyman, but also a bit of humor, but also kind of something different to it as well. I don't with all of the recasting, if it was Sly or Arnie or even like Mel Gibson and kind of others that were around at the time, and I just think it is very unique. And so I enjoyed watching it again, and I do think it stands up to the test of time.
Well, fair enough. There we go.
We will obviously, Jim, we'll start asking you to order your films when you're on the pod more often.
Yep.
But
this will be number one, I imagine.
There might be either a Lethal Weapon or a few other Bruce Willis on here that you can compare it to.
Always love Big, another classic.
Big.
Wow, you have to after the pod, because our listeners are bored of it. You talk to Kev about his love-hate relationship with Tom Hanks, and we'll go
see that's pre-Saviour Hanks, so that's perfectly acceptable. That is a very good film. But Saviour Hanks, less so. If you'd have said Forrest Gump, I'd have immediately terminated this podcast. So
wow. So there we go. So onwards and
on to next week.
Upwards, allegedly. Although we know that there's two steps forward, downwards, 1 step back.
Yeah.
What have you got for us next week?
So some change, but then also not so much change. So we go from 1988 to 2008, but possibly basically the same film. So but this is very tighter, so 90 minutes, so not quite as long as 132. Nowhere near as good Rotten Tomatoes, but there we go. 78 for the audience, 59 for the critics. So critics weren't quite as happy about it. 7.8 on IMDb. If we're comparing explosions, Die Hard 3, this film was 2. Number of deaths, 30 for Die Hard. This film, 35. So basically the same film 20 years later. So let's see if you can guess from. I mean, you can probably guess anyway, but this might help quite a lot as well. So, a retired specialist uses a very particular set of vocals to track down a dial tone threat across the Atlantic. So probably gives it away a little bit there. But yeah. So that'll be fun next week.
Jim's already smiling. I think it's people will know this one a bit more.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
So
good one. Interesting to compare back to back as well. Pretty similar films, as we've already said.
Very similar films.
We'll see less explosions, more deaths. So that's always something. Well, thanks for coming down to the bar, Jim, and for watching your favourite movie of all time again, not at Christmas.
Outside of Christmas.
That come across.
We'll get you back on in 2 weeks' time doing Polar Express, and we'll just put these out at Christmas time. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have you back down for some more Bruce Willis and some more 80s action. Thanks to Tom Miller for the theme song as ever. And now, why not? We may as well just put on Die Hard 2 now, and we'll just keep going all night.